Hey everybody, one of the most common questions I get as a certified financial planner from my older friends, relatives, and just people like to comment on my YouTube videos is how much worse will my Social Security be if I take it early? So I wanted to do a video and address that because a lot of people can't wait till 67, which is pretty much full retirement age for everybody right now. They can't wait till 67. They don't want to wait till 67. A lot of people want to retire early. A lot of people want to claim Social Security at 65 because that's Medicare age when they don't have to worry about healthcare anymore. So let's get into it. Before we do, take a minute, check out fool.com/Frankel, the link you see on your screen. Get a message from my sponsor, The Motley Fool. There's some great content on there. Please check it out. It's the best way to support this work I am doing on YouTube. Again, fool.com/Frankel. So let's dive right in. I want to share my screen. So here's what you need to know. The average retired worker, there's a few different categories of Social Security benefits. There's disability benefits, there's spousal benefits, there's survivor benefits. But we're just talking right now about people who retire from work and then collect Social Security. The average retired worker gets about $1,905 per month from Social Security. However, 63%, nearly two-thirds of all retired workers start collecting Social Security before their full retirement age. That's about 31.5 million of the 50 million beneficiaries that are retired workers. So a lot of people do claim Social Security early. That doesn't mean they claim at 62, which is the earliest age possible. That means they claim at any time between 62 and when they reach their full retirement age. That means only 37% of people wait until their full retirement age or later to start getting Social Security. So here we won't bury the lead here. How much are Social Security benefits for early retirement? So you can see that it does make a pretty big difference. So these are the averages for early retirees, people who claim before they reach full retirement age, for all retired workers, and for people who delay retirement beyond their full retirement age. So the average person who is collecting Social Security and is a retired worker, as we mentioned, gets about $1,905 per month from Social Security. Those who claimed Social Security early get $1,668 per month. That's a pretty big difference and can make a big difference in your quality of life after you retire. On the other hand, if you look at that right column, the average person who delays retirement gets $2,720 per month. Compare that to early retirees. That's over $1,000 more per month on average, or over $12,000 more per year in inflation-protected retirement income for delaying retirement. Now, of course, there's no perfect age to claim, and some people have a very good reason for claiming Social Security early. But it's really important to know how much of a difference it makes to wait. So if you can wait, if you're healthy and can keep working and you don't need to claim Social Security, it could be worth thinking about because Social Security is the only inflation-protected income source that a lot of retirees have, and an extra $1,000 a month, or even an extra few $100s a month, can make a big difference for somebody on a fixed income, especially over time with inflation. So here's you can see the breakdown at age 67, at age 70. The average 70-year-old gets a little over $2,000 per month. The average 70-year-old who claimed early and has been collecting Social Security for more than a few years gets just $1,630 per month. The average 70-year-old who has delayed retirement gets over $2,900 a month. Again, big differences between early and late retirement. Remember, so the all retired workers category includes that almost two-thirds of people who claim early. That kind of lowers the averages. So that's why I included the delayed retirement data right there. So two more really important data points to know, and then we'll go into how much you will get. So how much are Social Security benefits for early retirement? If you claim as early as possible, of course it will depend on your own work record. The average person who is 62 years old and is collecting Social Security now gets just under $1,300 per month. And if you remember back to that other slide, the overall average for a retired worker is a little over $1,900 per month. That's a big gap. That's over $600 difference between the average 62-year-old and the average person who collects Social Security. The average, if you're curious about how much you would get, or the average person would get if they claimed at full retirement age, that's known as the primary insurance amount. That's how much you would claim if you waited till exactly your full retirement age, more or less. There's a little more to it, but that's really what the primary insurance amount is talking about. So the average retired worker's primary insurance amount is $2,279 per month. Remember, the average retired worker actually gets just over $1,900 per month. So if the average person waited until full retirement age, which they don't, they would get $2,279 per month. Again, there are some really good reasons to claim early. I'm not saying there aren't. I'm just saying that there is a pretty big difference. So how much would you get from Social Security if you decided to claim early? So full retirement age in the United States is 67 for people born in 1960 or later for Social Security purposes. It's different for Medicare purposes. It's different for IRAs and retirement accounts. But for Social Security, it is 67 years old if you were born in 1960 or later. If you were born in the 1950s, it's somewhere between 66 and 67, depending on the exact year you were born. For early retirement, and the calculation's a little bit complicated, benefits are permanently reduced at a rate of 6 2/3% per year for up to 3 years before your full retirement age. So that means if you retire 3 years early, multiply that by 3, that's a 20% reduction. And it's done by month, by the way. It's not just per year. If you retire a few months early, if you retire 1 year and 5 months early, those percentages will be prorated by the month. Beyond 3 years early, up until as early as 62, the annual reduction percentage is 5%. So if your full retirement age is 67 and you claim Social Security at age 62, your benefit will be 30% lower than it would have been at full retirement age, which is consistent with the averages we just talked about on the previous slide. So if you're not sure how much you can expect, you can check your own estimates on your annual Social Security statement. I just checked mine. I check mine once a year, and this reminded me it was time to check. And that will provide an estimate based on your actual work record of how much you can expect to get roughly, because they don't know how much you're going to make in the future, about how much you can get at all the different possible ages you can claim at, 62, 63, 64, and so on and so on. So you can see the effects of early retirement on your own Social Security on your statement. And it's worth reading every year, by the way, just in general. It tells you how much you could get if you became disabled, unfortunately. It can tell you how much your survivors could get if something were to happen to you. It can tell you if you're eligible for Medicare. It can give you, and it contains a year-by-year accounting of how much money you have made for both Social Security and Medicare taxation purposes. So you can check to make sure that nothing's missing and that you are getting credit for all of the money that you've earned throughout your career. So I would highly recommend creating an account and checking your annual Social Security statement and continuing to do so every year, because honestly, that's the best source for an estimate that is tailored to you. It's based on your own work history. So I'm 42. My estimate on my Social Security statement is clearly not perfect, because I still have about 20 years of work left before I plan on retiring at a minimum. So I can see how much I'll supposedly get based on how much I've made so far, but I don't know how much I'm going to earn for the next 20 years or so. So it's not perfect, but it's definitely better than just kind of, a ballpark estimate based on averages. So that's the best way to get your custom estimates. So let me stop my share real quick. Thank you for listening. Please leave me any comments you might have or any questions on Social Security. I'll do my best to answer anything individually, and thank you for watching. I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. The Motley Fool is a company that provides investing insight and stock recommendations for investors of all skill sets and risk levels. You all know how much I love researching new stocks and trying to find the next best investment. So I'm proud to partner with The Motley Fool to bring you 10 stock picks from the popular product Stock Advisor. Stock Advisor has beaten the market by nearly 5 times. So go to fool.com/Frankel to get your 10 stock picks now. The Motley Fool Stock Advisor returns are 767% as of July 5th, 2024, and are measured against the S&P 500 returns of 163% as of July 5th, 2024.